Hey, what's up, guys? BEOTCG here, and again, another local match that I did use with MINERVA. This one was against, what was it against? It was against Tamayura. Did he have the promo? I don't remember if he has the promo Broken Toys order. I do not believe he does, because that card's like really expensive and really hard to find right now. My friend, one of my better Vanguard friends, he doesn't even have it, just because like none of the local stores that we know have that order. And again, it's like $60 to $70 online. He actually just top 16th. He got 16th place with Tamayura without that order. So let this be an encouragement to said budget players, or players that are balling on a budget, that it is possible to still do well even if you do not have like said better cards. There's still a way for you to play and be successful in this card game, in my personal opinion. And my friend did help achieve that and show that. So shout outs to Nick. But I think I win the dice roll here. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. But we'll see who goes first. This matchup was, basically a very like battle of aggression type matchup. Um, I think we were just waiting for them to say that we could start. He was shuffling. You see me there playing with my music again. Yeah, I do start here. Um, Perfect pitch fodder. Well, not the best pitch fodder, but we do pitch the Regalia grade 3 here, so we do have an easy way of getting Regalia to Soul. And his ride line was upside down. Happens to the best of us. He's going to check top 7 here for a glitter unit, I believe. No, not glitter unit, for a rear mirror Rarami, or a stealth order. And it was top 6. He's like, it's top 7, so he forgot one card, so he just checked the last card, and it was the card that he wanted to add. Let's go ahead, and he's shuffling up here. We're gonna maybe like speed this up a little bit more. It's not as fast as I would want it to go. He's gonna call one of the grade 1 girls here to rush me. I take that, and then I guard his Vanguard attack because I didn't want to get critted here. We pitched the grade 2 off the ride line, which was just really good to put that in Soul for Angel. And we put another copy of her into Soul, and then one of the grade 2 promos. We really didn't use that promo this match. At least I didn't use it as much as I thought I would use it. So we get both whiffs off the Angel, but that's okay. That we're just playing the Angel so that we can get the cards we want from Drop Zone into our Soul here. So we're gonna go ahead and swing with the Vanguard. We get a heal trigger here, give it to one of the Angels. He gets an over trigger, so we're just gonna swing at the rear guard and pass turn here. Getting the over trigger and damage is just like really good for us, in terms of like we don't have to worry about that anymore. And he still decides to continue with the rush. We don't get a defensive here, and he attacks our Vanguard again. Do we guard? We're thinking about guarding here, but we do ultimately decide to take it. We get a defensive draw here, and then the column goes to Soul due to the grade 1's mandatory effect. We pitched the heal we checked. We're gonna do another top 5 off the ride line here. Get a grade 1 off from the ride line, and we get an Angel, unfortunately. Usually, I avoid soul charging triggers off the ride line, even if it is key pieces that I do want. Just the mere fact of like keeping that trigger count in deck is just more helpful. We're going to Soul Blast one of the grade 1s here. We're going to Soul Charge. Then we're going to call her back and Soul Charge again. We Soul Charged draw trigger. We're going to swing 15 with the grade 2 here. He guards for 15. We're going to swing 18 here. We're going to get double PG. And then we're going to swing 23 at the Vanguard. So, not the best turn here. We really didn't have anything much to do. But it was more of just like setup for next turn. Let's go ahead and swing with the Vanguard here. And he chooses to call out a column instead of trying to call out more attackers, which makes sense in my opinion. We don't get a defensive here. He swings for 18, I believe. Yeah, so we double intercept, that's 18. And I believe that gives +5 to the other column, and we just guard for 15 there. And he was just using her ability to countercharge. We're going to Persona right here. This is going to be a really nice 15, +15 to the front row. Thinking of what I want to do next. We call down the Angel. Look at top 3. Do get the Regalia grade 3, so that's going to be really nice for some multi-attack combos here. Thinking about what's a Soul Blast. I Soul Blast one of the grade 1s here. Look at the top card of my deck, leave it on top. Call the grade 1. We choose not to Soul Charge here because obviously it's a trigger that we left on top of our deck, so we want to keep it there. We're going to swing here 25. And then we're going to swing 28 here. He perfect guards that, and we're going to use her skill. We're going to Soul Blast the 2 here. Give 5k to the Vanguard. Goes to Soul. We missed the counter charge here, of course, but we are going to CB1 and call the girl back. Just thinking about my attack patterns here, how many attacks I can get off. We're going to swing with the Vanguard for 33. He chooses to take it. We get a heal trigger here. We do heal, and we get another Minerva. So we're going to counterblast 1. We're going to discard the Minerva we just drove check. And we're going to Soul Blast one of the grade 2s and one of the grade 1s. So we're going to get that behind our Vanguard. And we do choose the Soul Charge here. That didn't look like it was a trigger unit. And we're going to attack with the Vanguard again here. He no guards. Takes his damage. And it's going to be 33, and the other column is going to be 43. And he chooses the PG there. So that was just like a really good turn for us because we pushed him to 5 while simultaneously healing to 2. And he doesn't Persona Rad here, but he is going to get the Soul Blast 2 to draw, and then he's going to be able to call down the 2 grade 1s. So that's just really good value for him here. And I was just reading to make sure that they were in the proper places. It's going to be 23 at my Vanguard. Thinking of how I want to guard this turn, whether I take the early attacks and guard the later ones, and I just get the OT defensively here. So he chooses to swing at the rear guard. Obviously, we don't guard it. He's debating, and he does call out the rear me and raw me here, regardless. He does check the order card here, which is really good for him defensively. He swings at my other rear guard. We choose to take it, and he's going to Soul Blast 1-2 counter charge. So I'm going to Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of my deck, thinking on whether I want to keep it on top or not. I believe we choose to keep it on top because I believe it's a key unit. And we're going to swing for 26 here. He's going to use the order, of course. So that puts me back to 16. And that's 28, so that's 2 to pass. And obviously we didn't check it, but we checked really good cards for our next follow-up turn. So this is 23 to the rear guard, and then we, oh no, that was actually just 13 at the rear guard, and then we end turn. So he does a Persona Ride again, but he chooses to call down a grade 0 here to try and push. That was 10. So I guess he mistook it for 15, even though that was just 10. I don't know why none of us caught that, but I just took that damage for free, I guess. So and then he calls down his grade 2s. We're gonna perfect guard here. He gets a draw trigger, and then he gets another defensive order, so that's just really good for him. We block again. And then we're going to go ahead. Do we eat this or do we block? We're going to go ahead and just block again and intercept. And he's going to Soul Blast 1-2 counter charge. I'm gonna activate the order here to activate Persona Ride, which is just really good in this deck. Soul Blasting 1, look at the top card, we're leaving it on top. I believe the reason that I was just heavily guarding his attacks was because I was at low deck and I was trying not to let too many cards leave my deck. Thinking about attack patterns here, we do decide to swing 33 first, and he shows me that his hand was 3 order cards and like a 15 and a 10. So even though we did take that extra damage unnecessarily, it was all right. We still had enough to guard the turn no matter what. So he's gonna choose to go first here, which is not too unappealing for Minerva. Minerva really doesn't care if she, in my opinion at least, the way I play the deck, like I really like the deck for the sole reason that it doesn't matter if it goes first, it doesn't matter if it goes second. It's just really good like whichever one, because if you go first, you're still able to like make good numbers. If you have the grade 3 rear guard Regalia, you're able to still make multi attacks. But if you go second, you're able to do everything right out the gate. And again, this is another beautiful example of why the overtrigger needs to go, because this deck is a prime example of the longer the game goes on, the more likely you are to see your overtrigger, because Minerva naturally deck thins the deck. She looks at the top of the deck and she soul charges. So it's just one of those decks that's just like naturally over time, over the course of the game, it is going to see the overtrigger. So we're going to pitch a grade 2 here. We're going to draw. And we're just going to swing for 8. We don't really have anything else here. We get the Chalice here, which is really good. He gets a defensive draw trigger, which is also really good for him. Pitches another draw trigger, gets the other grade 2 Rear Me or Raw Me back to hand. Chooses to call it. Thinking. And he just decides to swing here. So he swings for 10. I decide to take it. I get a defensive here, shuts down his attack. Debating on what I want to discard here. I'm debating between the order card and another card in my hand. I choose to discard the Grade 3 Regalia just because we do want to keep Persona Ride if possible, especially since we just soul charged Persona Ride. So just keeping the Chalice here is just really good for us. Put the grade 2 to soul. We actually do hit the grade 2 off the top check, so now we have like a really good rush that does get stopped by the defensive order, or like again does get stopped by a defensive, but you know it was basically like free. So and he gets 2 defensives and that's the end of our turn, but you know he won to pass us and we did check the crit. He's gonna ride up here. He's gonna call 2 of the grade 1s here. He's gonna swing and he's going to call one of the grade 2. He decided no guard here. He gets a crit, gives the crit to the grade 2. We get a defensive draw. He's going to swing at her. We let it go through, obviously, because we don't care if she's in the drop zone or not. And he was just clarifying that both those grade 1s go to soul, which they do. And then he's going to swing 20 at my Vanguard, which we just intercept with the other one. I believe we just pitch what we drew for turn. Nope, we pitch one of the grade 1s. So it's a hard choice here because we can either soul charge double of the grade 3 rear guard or one of the angel and one of the grade 3 rear guard. Or no, we decided to soul charge 2 angel and 2 of the grade 2 promo. Which are useless cards in the soul, but like just because we can do it, it's just very helpful in that. It's just very helpful in that fact that, you know, we just deck thin 2 cards from our deck, 2 normal units from our deck. Thinking about what to soul charge for a soul blast for Minerva's ability here. We soul blast one of the 2s here. Look at the top card. We do decide to soul charge it. It's another Minerva again, which is why we kept the Chalice. Call Cider here. Gonna swing at the rear guard for 15 because he would just intercept with it and go to soul. And then we're going to swing 23 at the Vanguard. He guards up 15, so it goes back to hand. And then we swing 18 at the Vanguard, which he decides to take. We get a heal trigger. We give all effects to Vanguard. And then we are going to restand here. So we're going to pitch the grade 1. And we're going to Soul Blast 3. Which we're going to CB1. And we're going to call those two. We do decide to Soul Charge here. We Soul Charge a non-trigger unit. And we're going to swing for 28. Which we do get a crit here. And that is the end of the game. Which is interesting because his hand was... So his hand was one of the grade 3 normal order, 1 Persona Ride, 2 PGs, 2 15s. He was at 4 damage. So if he would have guarded here, which he was telling me like he was just unlucky today, like today was like his very unlucky day, which I don't think this was the case here, because if he would have guarded here, okay, the crit goes to rear guard, but that's just 33. So if he would have like PG'd the Vanguard, and then it would have just been 2 15s to guard the rear guard attack, he could have survived. That was 4 cards out of his hand, but he could have, obviously survived that turn. He would have drawn for turn. He would have been able to Persona Ride. He still would have at least that one grade 2, and he does have the grade 3 order in hand, so he would have had setup no matter what for his following turn. It was just interesting that he chose to like chance the no guard there, and a crit did end up sealing the game, even though he technically did have the guard in his hand to stop that attack and possibly just push back and recuperate on the following turn, because him activating the Blitz order actually like really hurts us, especially if we don't have Persona Red. But that's just like the end of the game, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Down below we have details to our playmats. We are selling them. We accept Cash App and PayPal. So don't forget to check that out, guys. And yeah, later.